Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins.
And I'm Paul
And
Hankins.
welcome to another edition of On the Air with Power Squared, a weekly look behind the scenes that we hope will be everyone's favorite comic book, Power Squared. This week, since we are starting a new issue number 16, we thought we'd bring Rachel back and talk a little bit about the process of getting started with a new issue. Which,
Hi, everyone.
hi. So thanks for being here. I know it's later on the East Coast than it is
Of
here.
course, thanks for having me.
Oh no. Oh, it's okay. Thank you for being here. We can go on and on. So as we were saying earlier, the boring part is we write the script. And nobody wants to hear about that process really. But then we send it to you, and then you make the magic happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, I'll receive the script from David and Paul, and I'll pull it on my screen share right here. Usually, when I get a new arc, get down there. There we go. Usually, when I get a new arc, I'll read through all of the scripts at once. I'll just sit down and read through it once, get an idea of what this whole story is, and I'll write notes about what kind of new characters I'm going to have to design. I might make some notes for individual panels, like what if I have this specific idea for a certain panel, like or switching things around, because I think I said in the last work like process explanation that I like to switch panels around sometimes.
That's
It's
fine.
just how I do.
And
So I'll
usually,
do that.
obviously, it makes it better. So we're fine with that.
Yeah, it's all about the creative process, you know.
Yeah.
Apologies if my cat makes noise. But yeah, so then once I'm ready to start the thumbnails, I'll just sit down. I have this special little thumbnail template that I like to work off of. I'll just open it to show you guys. Come on. Yeah. So like I'll draw my thumbnail. Like I usually do, since there's 8 in a month that I make, 8 pages.
Yeah.
I'll work on a sheet of 8 thumbnails. So it'll be like pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll usually just start with the panel layouts. So usually what I'll do is I'll go through the page, determine how many panels there are in the page, and figure out like, oh, this panel might has a lot of stuff going on. It has a lot of dialogue, so I'll make it bigger. This one is kind of quick. I'll make it smaller. Then I'll go through and do that. And then it all turns into this. So I finished these thumbnails for issue 16 the other day, a few days ago.
Right.
And like I said before, I always make 2 versions of each page because it helps me to explore the most ideal way for conveying a page. And usually David and Paul will they'll either choose one whole version of the page I like best, or they'll pick oh, I like these panels from B, but then these panels from A. It helps make a whole new page, which I think is really cool, like something I wouldn't have thought of on my own.
Right. I'm glad you feel that way.
So yeah, yeah,
You like all this, but this panel from there, yeah. It's.
yeah.
I know sometimes we've
But,
that we've crossed the line where it's reversed. So no, and you're there to put us back right. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? So in this new issue, we see a kitsune stealing a raven's eggs. Then she falls out, and the eggs died. And I'm very excited to draw more forest scenes
Uh-huh.
because last issue, issue 15, was a whole forest scene. That was fun to do. Very organic,
Well, good.
very green.
And a lot less dialogue too.
Yeah, it's true. Things flow a little more nicely, so I mean, it's different from what we normally do. So it was interesting to work with.
Well, we're trying to lessen the dialogue that we have, so it's more action, a little more action.
Yeah, I noticed it's been getting better. Yeah,
See,
and I
better.
know in this arc we'll be getting. I know this arc will be seeing more action, so that'll be exciting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically you have an A and a B, and then we sort of have sometimes a C because we say we like this panel here and this panel there.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes a page might have to get a facelift or two. But that's not usual. Usually, you guys are pretty easy. So,
Well, we realized we were looking at page 8 that we had misnumbered the panels in the script. We'd left out 2. Like,
oh
this
yeah.
one's only 4. Oh, okay, this one was 5.
You
Uh,
know, as long as it conveys the story you want to tell, then it doesn't like matter that much. You know.
well, we're also trying to make sure that the a story ends before you turn the page, kind of deal. So at least the sequence ends before you turn the page if we can. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like 3 panels of
So
this and 4 panels of that and what. So
yeah. So once these thumbnails are all done, and I gotta say, thumbnails are like the most grueling part of the comic process because you're trying to turn a very abstract idea into something on the page. So it can be like, it's like working with like a clean slate of marble and make it into a beautiful statue. It's like, oh, here we go. Here's the heavy lifting.
right.
But
Yeah.
once that's done, yeah, it gets smoother from there for sure. From there, I will usually take the thumbnails, like I have it here in this page one. I'll size it up onto the page layout that I have here. I'll put in the gutters, yeah, gutters, the board, the panel layout, the panel outlines, and I'll lower the opacity there, and from there, I'll like do my pencils on top,
Oh,
just like that. Yeah,
that's how that
I
process.
have those all set up for now.
Oh,
Um, and usually in between on a new issue where there's new characters that are needed, I will between thumbnails and pencils, I'll start on the character designs, which is what I did here. We have 2 new antagonists, I suppose. We
yeah.
got Billy, we have Raven.
So if anybody has, of course, they've read the first issue. Billy is a passing character in the first issue, as an example of somebody with the Verbus compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sneaky how
Yeah,
he's in
yeah,
there.
and so
only real fans of Power Square will remember Billy.
which is everybody watching. Yeah. Um,
Obviously,
yeah. So yeah, Billy was a passing character, and we wanted to sort of again lay the groundwork to bring him back at some point in the future, and then Raven was just. I don't really know exactly where the idea for her came from, but originally she was going to be the other, Kasune, not Kasune, yokai, that another yokai character, and then we kind of have since then written other, we did that whole issue last time and stuff that had more yokai in it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, she was, and then it was just the idea would be that sort of like how the boys have Mocha, Billy would have Raven, and this sort of write a story that would kind of tie them all together.
yeah, they're partners in crime.
Yeah, basically, but they're kind of in the same, same situation as the boys are, in a
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah.
for,
Can I talk about the characters, like who they are?
if you want to.
So, like, Raven is a Yatagarasu, so a 3-legged crow, and yeah, she's like Mocha. She can turn into a crow, and she's super cool and rad. And Billy has the Viribus compound, which gives it super strength. Excuse me. So with characters,
And
I
punctuality.
always try to,
That's one of those other
I always try to take cues from the scripts, like how the character is described. So I knew he's a trucker, so I tried to give him like sort of a trucker build, and at the same
Yeah.
time make him like sort of strong and buff.
Yeah.
So in character designs, I'll make something. Usually at first I'll draw the first thing that comes to my mind. So this image here is the first thing that came to my mind, and then I'll do some explorations of the finer details like his face shape, his hairstyle, color schemes. If I'm getting more into character design, I might do like different body shapes, different fashion styles, shapes of other things, but it doesn't have to be necessarily very in depth.
Yeah. So with
Yeah.
Billy, I know we described him in the script as just wearing a T-shirt, but then we decided that maybe he should be having a flannel shirt on.
Yeah.
So we've changed
Yeah.
it up.
So yeah, I've
Sometimes,
already showed these to David and Paul, and they like I'll implement changes eventually.
yeah,
Soon.
yeah. So the
Yeah.
idea was, and I know that it helps sometimes to see it visually to go, oh, that's not working right, or that should be this, or now that I see it, yeah, he should be wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
So it kind of develops that way. Yeah, Mocha was excuse me, Raven is supposed to be yeah, kind of as you described her, kind of hip and attractive, I guess, and
Yeah, I saw I think the word voluptuous was used to describe her. So this
yeah,
is, yeah, it's the first thing I thought of. And I explored different like facial shapes and hairstyles. Um, Personally, I'm a fan of B here. She kind of looks like Disney Channel chic.
yeah,
I think we decided to go with A.
yeah,
And I did have this idea while I was designing her to give her vitiligo, like this sort of white pigmentation that would match some white pigmentation she had as a raven. But I don't think we decided to go with the idea. But that's okay. That's all a part of
it,
the export, the create process.
yes, yes, yeah, it is part of the yeah, and we do appreciate the fact you give us all these different variations to choose from, and I think we chose
Yeah,
A in all the character designs so far.
that's
That's
true.
good. That's good. That's good.
Plus,
Yeah. So
triple A. And I did start her character sheet. So for each like main character, usually like one that plays a major role in any given issue, I'll give them a character sheet that helps outline what their character looks like. I might write a few notes on the side here, like how tall they are, what their face is like, what their fashion sense is like. I'll have some color, like a color palette here for the colorist to work with.
hmm
Maybe some close-ups of like I have her nails here. She's wearing acrylic nails. I was thinking would kind of like help reflect her talents as a raven.
okay.
Figured that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'll have like a turnaround here. I'll draw a real turnaround eventually.
Right.
But yeah, I have some finished ones. I like Quincy's finished character sheet a lot,
Okay. Show us
so
that.
I'll just demonstrate that.
Yeah. See,
So
you've
this
been.
is like, there's the finished one. There we go. So yeah, she got like a turnaround. She's got a palette, some notes about her character. And then I made a second one. I don't know if I'll make a second one for Raven, but the second one kind of outlines like details about her face, like the shoulders up, like her pencils and her bun,
Yeah.
her hair, her glasses, her jewelry. She was a fun character to design.
Yeah. So you've been designing characters for all the issues after from 6 on, right?
Yeah, basically.
I think Kirby was the not yeah not Kirby. Dr. Jordan was probably the first one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, I think Professor Jordan was a character. We saw him
Yeah.
in the first issue, like briefly. So I don't know if I can take credit for him.
Well, but I mean, he went from he was more of a character when you than he was in that passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you
And
have?
sometimes for minor characters, there are always going to be like some minor characters in any given issue, and I might design them depending on like if they have a speaking role or how much they appear. Issue 10, is this issue 10? Issues 10 through 12, I designed the Dr. Julius Monroe, who blows
Yeah.
himself up. um, Quincy's photographer here that appears at the end of issue 10, I want to say.
Okay.
Issue 11, one of those. Um,
Yeah, I think
I
11.
just like make sure I have a look for them.
Right. So
Yeah.
okay, and then you have some. I see some photographic references there.
Oh yeah, I like to save the reference. I think you guys gave me these references, and I'll save them
Yeah.
in my little character design
Yeah.
folder just to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Quincy was. There was actually a person I saw at work. I went, oh, she'd be like a really good character, but I didn't know her, and I can't really approach. Oh, I think we should be in a comic book. So we found an actress that sort of looked, had the same sort of look, I guess, and used her.
Yeah, it's actually very useful to reference, at least if you're working in a kind of an almost naturalistic style like Power Square as opposed to like a very cartoony style. It's very useful to use celebrities or real life people as references because it helps keep the design consistent, especially if the character has some more defining features.
Okay. So it's good that we send
Yeah,
those, and we. Okay, that's good.
yeah. Although I do like, I mean, I like having some freedom as well. I'll work with whatever.
So you've designed 2 characters, have done thumbnails for the first 8 pages.
Yes.
And we have made some minor tweaks to the script to go along with the changes that you're making,
Right. Yeah.
taking out a couple of panels and that kind of stuff, which is good. We need to. One of the things we need to do is a better job of making sure the script still reflects that, because when Trevor gets the lettering, it's sort of like, hey,
Yeah.
this panel's
Right.
gone.
I saw that when I was listening to your last podcast, and I was like, no.
Yeah, sorry. I get lazy, I guess. Okay, so anything else you want to pursue, talk about?
Let's see. Well, yeah, I'll usually just do pencils right on top of the thumbnails like this. I remember when I had to draw traditionally for comic school, I would blow up the thumbnail like this on top of a page and just print it out like that on like a 11 by 17 sheet and just draw on top of it like that.
Okay.
That was quite a process, but I'm very thankful for technology.
Yeah, I'm sure it makes it a lot easier.
And usually for sure. And for forested shots like this, I don't really worry about a perspective grid, but for shots that we're seeing in a structure like this, I'll have to lay down a perspective grid, which I haven't done yet.
Oh.
But Studio Paint has a very useful tool called the perspective ruler. So what you do is just just draw a little perspective grid there.
Huh.
Yeah, oh, that's the wrong way. Yeah, and then I'll use that to draw out the structure. It's totally wrong. This is just for demonstration purposes. But such a lifesaver, dear Lord. Way better than having to draw it out. That usually takes a little bit of time to set up, but part of the process.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So the thumbnails become pencils, and then which we can get to on a later show, because we thought it'd be kind of interesting to sort of, since we're starting with something new, to just follow the process through. And so yeah, we do 8 pages a month, mostly because of budget and time. I know it's taking up your time as well.
Yeah, 8 pages a month. I find that even if it's just for budget, I find that 8 pages is a very what am I trying to say? That's the amount of pages I can do per month
Okay.
with everything else going on in my life. So it works out.
Oh, good. Works out for
Yeah.
us too.
Yeah.
And so we still have to get 10 out at the door.
Yeah.
And then it's I always feel like we're so far behind as far as getting stuff out, because you don't want to we're not putting everything out at once anymore, so it takes longer, and you want to hopefully build up some desire for the next issue, and so we'll get 10 out the door here in about a month or so, because part of it is making sure that the printers it'll look good, and then we have to send it off for digital, and they have to approve it, and it takes about 2 or 3 weeks to get up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a process.
yeah, it doesn't stop when you guys are done. It continues on. All right, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you taking time on a Friday night to hang out with us.
Oh, of course.
And we'll probably be back at you in a few weeks. Let's see how things, follow the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Anything else you want to mention?
I guess there's a comment in my head that I kind of wanted to get out because I pulled this up.
Okay.
It's I just wanted to say it's kind of funny that we sort of decided that Raven's primary color was purple, because in Yu-Gi-Oh, the card Yatagarasu has a purple color scheme.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys said that the idea of her Yatagarasu feathers would be black with a sort of purple sheen to them, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So that was the idea behind her purple color scheme.
Okay.
I figured it would be cool to make her like give her like a sort of a gothic color scheme with the purple and maybe some black in there. And I also wanted to give her like a little pop of yellow in there since it's a nice complementary color.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems more.
It's almost the opposite of Quincy because Quincy has like a primarily yellow color scheme with some purple splashed in there.
Purple's really important in this. And
Well, I like to say like in Nintendo games and like Disney movies, they often use purple for the antagonist side, like in the color scheme, like the character design. Since I would say like it's evil when it's purple.
Yeah.
huh.
I like purple, but
Yeah, because I guess in some ways Raven is much more like Mocha is very covered up and
Yeah.
wears a pantsuit all the time. We have to do something that eventually have her maybe change up a little bit. But yeah, she's
Like
very.
it's sort of a foil on her character.
Yeah, no, I think it's good that there's another yokai that she can deal with.
Yeah.
And it's all part of the overall
Yeah.
scheme that there's this war going on between yokai and the boys are just sort of thrust into it. That's why why she gave
I know. I believe like foxes and crows or ravens are often seen together in folklore around the world. Really, probably I assume in Japan, but like they're always seen causing mischief, either against each other or with each other.
Well, then we're right in sync. That was a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny in a way how when we've decided certain things about different like yokai, we've ended up being accidentally super accurate. Like the whole like Mocha being able to shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
When we looked up Kitsune. Well, the powers of shapeshifting, so we're like, oh my god!
Yeah. It's been very organic.
Happy accident.
Yeah, it's been very organic how the things have kind of come together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
very pleased.
I also remembered that this issue 16, it will be my 10th issue on Power Squared,
Right?
which is super exciting. I think technically issue 15 probably would have been 10, but this marks 10 issues.
Okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're excited about it. Yeah, so you've been with us. The only person longer with us is Trevor.
That's true. Yeah, can't beat that.
He's
Oh
kind
well.
of captain, so he can't escape, but everybody else can come and go. No, but it's good to have it's really nice to have sort of a continuity in the look.
Yeah.
It's been really important for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do appreciate your sticking with us through thick and thin.
I like to think the style. I mean, I'll look back on my old pages, and the style has kind of evolved a lot. Not necessarily intentional. I always try to make the art look better as my own skill and speed improves. But as a result, the style has kind of evolved in a funny way. But I like to think for the better.
Yeah, I like to think that every issue gets better, from the writing and everything. Kind of just seems like it gets,
Yeah.
because you don't want to feel like, oh, we peaked, issue 10 was as good as it's gonna get. We're just,
Back it up, guys.
Yeah.
This is the best we're gonna get.
Yeah. So I'd like to think that we're trying to make the stories bigger and,
Yeah.
And I think I liked the story arc 10 through 12 because we actually got some really action going finally, and then I like the idea of showing how the boys met her and how that kind of works into the storyline, and then I know we want to talk more about sort of this battle with yokai, so it was good to have bring in Raven.
Yeah.
So it all kind of worked out.
Yeah. And was a really cool arc. Like it was one of the arcs I was reading through. It was like, ooh, it's getting juicy. Let me get my popcorn. And this new arc, 16 through 18, is also very good. I probably shouldn't spoil it, but it has a very nice ending. And I like these two characters too. I like their dynamic.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of. I like the idea that they're, kind of together, but there's not, you don't rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a mentor student kind of
Yeah.
relationship.
And they're sort of like drawn together by conflict.
Yeah. No, I was really, as a writer on it, I was really pleased with the kind of the backstory. I thought that was pretty good. How they kind of got together and stuff. So
And I like the idea of Raven just kind of hanging out in Billy's truck as he's trucking along.
I still like the idea of punctuality is one of his powers. I'm never late. He's a trucker. You can't never be late.
I think that's also my power. I'm working on super strength. I'll get there.
Yeah. That's hard,
Yeah.
having super strength. Punctuality.
I was thinking, part of Billy's story is that he got his super strength at the age of 8. Would you even build muscles at that point? Would you have big muscles, or would you just be normal?
I think he just sort of, it's sort of like, some people have adrenaline and they were able to lift something really heavy. And that's kind of what he wouldn't have big muscles. He would just be a normal kid. And suddenly he could do this major thing.
Yeah. Just want to imagine an 8-year-old with like really buff arms.
No, he's just a typical kid. He just, and because Raven, we give away the story, but he has those powers and he uses them for good. Save his mom.
Yeah.
Give you a little tear. All right. Well, I really appreciate you being on the show.
Of course.
So we'll be back in touch. I obviously we'll be talking during the week or the weeks ahead anyway about the book. This is coming along.
Yeah.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And this has been On the Air with Power Squared. Bye.
Night, everyone.